Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video, I am going to be talking about 8 steps that you can take to change your financial situation around and stop living paycheck to paycheck. You see, a lot of people think living paycheck to paycheck is normal, and they would be right. With reports that over a third of UK households are one paycheck away from being in financial ruin, and 78% of American workers live paycheck to paycheck, and women living paycheck to paycheck is roughly 5 times more likely than men. So let's do something about this. Hit like and subscribe and let's dive right in. Step 1 is to get a budget. If you have no clue where your entire paycheck goes, then you need to start creating a budget as soon as possible. This way, you will know exactly where your money goes, and doing this will be a massive help. Without a budget, it's pretty easy to live paycheck to paycheck because you don't have a plan and have no clue how much you are spending per week and per month, sometimes even per day. A budget will show you where you can cut back and start to save money, which we will talk about more in depth later in the video. First, write down your income for the month. Next, start listing all your expenses for the month. Things like rent, food, internet, phone contracts, and everything in between should be added to the list. Then start deducting your expenses for your income until you have fully covered your expenses. Now, if the money you have left over is zero, then you need to start looking at things that are not essential and start cutting them out or change them for cheaper alternatives. More on this later. Doing this will tell you exactly where your money is going every month. What are the essential things that is needed? What things you can change for alternative cheaper ones? And what things can you remove? By doing this, you should be able to start saving a little bit of money. Step 2 is to take care of the necessities first. So before you want to go out and buy brand new shoes and clothing or phones and toys, you need to first take care of the most important things. So set aside money for your rent or mortgage, set aside money for your food, set aside money for your bills such as your gas bills, electricity bills and water bills, and then set aside money for your transportation, if that is using public transport or driving your own car to work and back. If there's any money left over after you take care of the necessities, then look towards what else you need to pay and tackle it in order of importance. This is why a budget is immensely helpful in helping you keep track of what is important. Step 3 is to tackle debt. So no more living with debt and no more getting into debt. Playing around with debt is a recipe for disaster. You can't get ahead that way. If you do not have enough money to pay for something, then do not grab your credit card to pay for it. This is no way to live. But debt isn't just credit cards. Debt is anytime you owe somebody else money for anything. So debt can come in the forms of bank overdrafts, student loans, car payments, store credit cards, mortgages, personal loans, business loans, or payday loans. Borrowing money from friends and family, just to name a few. So after you have set your budget, after you have paid your essentials, now whatever money you have left should be focused on tackling debt. First is to stop taking off any kind of new debt. This means stop paying for things with credit card to make ends meet. Stop going to payday loan companies or using bank overdrafts. You need to stop living beyond your means. Now, there are 2 methods to pay your debt off, which are the snowball method and the avalanche method. The snowball method is basically just tackling them one at a time, starting from the lowest balance all the way up to the highest balance. So example, say you have 3 types of debt. They are a mortgage on a house, credit card debt, car loans. What you do with this method is you tackle the one that has the lowest balance. So say your car loan has the lowest balance, then you tackle that one first, regardless of the interest rate. You tackle the lowest balance first, then it's your credit cards, so tackle that. This way, you are slowly removing your debts and becoming debt free. Now, the avalanche method. The avalanche method is similar to the snowball method, but instead of tackling the one with the lowest balance first, you tackle the one with the highest interest rate first. So say you have 3 types of debt: bank overdraft, credit card debt, and car loan. What you do in this instance is tackle the one with the highest interest rate. So if the credit card has the highest interest rate, then you tackle that one first and pay off the debt, then move on to the next one. Step 4 is to start selling some of your unused and unnecessary stuff. A easy and fun way to bring in some extra cash is by selling some of your items that you don't use or need. So that could be selling your jewelry, selling your clothes, selling gifts that you have gotten but never used. If you have 2 cars, then sell one of them or sell both of your cars if you can. And if you really don't need a car, for example, if you live in a city and have access to good public transportation, yeah, sure, it might add an extra 15 minutes to an hour on your commute, but think about the amount of money you would be saving from not having to pay insurance, maintenance, fuel, and road tax. Sell anything that you can to get money for. If that means selling your kidney, selling your kids, or your partner, then do it. Wait. I'm joking about that. Don't actually go and sell your kidney. The kids and partner are fine to sell. More space and less mouths to feed. Alright, I'm joking. Anyway, let's move on. Step 5 is to get a temporary job or start a side hustle. Now, if you are adamant that you are not going to be selling your car, then at least use your car to make you some money. Turn it into an asset instead of a financial liability. So use it to start doing a part-time job. That can be delivering pizzas, delivering takeaways, delivering food by working for Uber Eats, Deliveroo, Just Eat, Stuart, and others, or deliver people and parcels by working for Uber, Bolt, or Amazon Flex. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you probably need to bring in more income consistently, not just when you sell some stuff. You need to go after promotions and increase your salary at your full-time job. But if you need to increase your income sooner, then you can start doing a side hustle or get yourself a second job, which is pretty much the same thing. Great flexible second jobs that are great options for making extra money are waiting tables, being a barista, working at a call center, or signing up to be an online tutor if you have specific skill in something. There are even plenty of work from home jobs you can do after hours or on the weekends too. Step 6 is to live below your means. This is huge. This is really the best way to avoid living paycheck to paycheck. Most of us live paycheck to paycheck not because we aren't making enough, which is a factor, but it's because of lifestyle inflation and living way beyond our means. If you make £25,000 a year, but your expenses cost £20,000 a year, then you're not living paycheck to paycheck as you have £5,000 buffer. But if you earn £100,000 a year, but spend £100,000 a year, then yes, money is going to be tight and you are going to be living paycheck to paycheck. So you need to start living below your means, because if you can't live within your means now, you're not going to be able to do it when you're making more money either. If you aren't careful, an increase in salary can mean an increase in lifestyle. So best to start building those habits early. Step 7 is to look for things to cut. Briefly touched on this at the start of the video, but you need to cut out things that are unnecessary, things that are costing you money every month. You're living paycheck to paycheck here, so tighten it up. Look for any area in your budget, the one that you created earlier, where you can spend less. So, cancel the subscriptions you have to things such as Netflix, Hulu, meal delivery kits, and specialty makeup boxes. Anything that's a subscription model where you are paying monthly. If you have a gym membership, then cancel that and buy yourself a pair of running shoes and go running on the streets. Start doing push-ups and sit-ups. I get it. Making sacrifices like this doesn't feel good. It sucks. But keep reminding yourself that this is not forever. This is temporary sacrifices until you turn your financial situation around and are no longer living paycheck to paycheck. You got to put in the work now so you can be better in the future. Step 8 is to start an emergency fund. Starting an emergency fund is very important. Everybody needs to have an emergency fund, even if you are in debt. All you need is £1,000 to £2,000 to have a safety net under your feet. Ideally, you would want enough to cover your total expenses for 3 to 6 months, so that's to cover your rent/mortgage, food, bills, and transportation. But having £1,000 to £2,000 in the bank as an emergency can be enough, while you slowly keep adding to it. This should allow you to cover your rent, mortgage for a month. Cover basic foods and bills. It's enough to cover any emergency, such as if your car broke down and you need to get it to work, or you rely on your car to bring in the money. If saving and adding £1,000 sounds like an extremely difficult thing to do right now, then keep looking for things to cut and sell. Look for ways to free up cash. If things are tight, it's going to take some time to save this emergency fund. It's not going to happen overnight, and that's okay. Just keep working at it. Take however much you can and put it in an emergency fund. If you can put in £100, then do that. If you can put in £10, then do that. Continue to keep adding as much as you can to the emergency fund. Once you've got this taken care of, you'll be amazed at how much peace having an emergency fund gives you. That emergency fund is there to keep you from using a credit card if you fall into an emergency. You know it's going to rain eventually, so you came prepared with an umbrella. So that's the video. Hope it was helpful. If it was, then subscribe, give it a like, and let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and take care.